Hello, how are you? Today I brought you a delicious recipe for a sweet treat that's very high in protein, low in carbohydrates, with no sugar, no condensed milk, no cream, and no flour to bind it. This recipe is wonderful for when you want to eat something sweet, a dessert, even as an afternoon snack or for breakfast, and you want something low in calories but very filling because of the protein. It's super easy to make and the combination of flavors is amazing. You're going to love it. Stay until the end. You won't want to miss this. Once again, just a reminder that the ingredients and their quantities are always listed below in the description. And in fact, our first ingredient is a good quality white cheese. You can make it at home. I have a cheese recipe where you only need milk and lemon to make the cheese. If you want to see the full step-by-step, I'll leave the recipe here. You can use fresh ricotta or even cottage cheese. And cheeses, when they are white like this, creamier and less hard, that shows us they have less saturated fat and more protein. So, in terms of macronutrient proportions, they are healthier. To our cheese, which is going to provide us with the protein and calcium in this recipe, I'm going to add skim milk. And then I'll blend this and turn it into a cream. And I'm also going to add a little bit of sweetener here. I'm using liquid stevia, but you can use whichever you prefer, and a bit of vanilla extract. The vanilla extract is optional, but I like to use it because it brings out the sweetness even more and adds a nice flavor. So let's blend this until it becomes a cream, and then I'll be back. Hold on. I'm going to set this aside for a moment because here I have a little bit of the milk I set aside, the same milk I used before, and in it I'm going to dissolve my unflavored, colorless, sugar-free gelatin. Remember that gelatin is also a source of protein, and actually, gelatin is nothing more than cooked collagen itself, so it helps with your skin, nails, hair, joints. But from a culinary perspective, it helps give our mixture an interesting consistency without us having to thicken it on the stove, without having to add any flour or spend a lot of time stirring at the stove. So now we've managed to hydrate the gelatin, but I need it to melt. So we have two options. We can either do this in the microwave or in a double boiler. I'm going to do this in the microwave actually, but for at least 30 seconds because it works super fast. So I'm going to put it in the microwave, and as soon as it's ready, I'll come back so we can mix it in. Hold on. Okay, I've melted the gelatin, so now I'm going to blend everything a little more to make sure it's very well mixed. And then I'll pour it into my molds. Let me check if I scraped everything here. And now we mix it well, and then I'll pour it into my container. Hold on. Before we go on, I want to ask you if you would like to lose weight. If so, how much? Write it for me down below in the comments. This recipe is wonderful for the weight loss process and even helps control blood sugar because, as I mentioned, it's low in carbs and low in calories. So it's also great if you're following a healthy eating plan or even a low-carb diet, right? You're going to love it. So I grabbed my silicone mold, which makes cute little bars, right? I'll add the second layer later. But I brought this serving dish here to show you that if you don't have one, you can use this instead. Then just cut it into little squares, It looks nice too. So now I'm going to fill this bottom part, and then I'll put it in the fridge so it can set. And after that, I'll add the second layer. So let me fill this up little by little, and then I'll come back to show you how it's turning out. Hold on. While I'm filling this up, I want to remind you that I have many playlists here on the channel to help you lose weight, control your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and lots of healthy, easy, and delicious recipes, low in calories, low in carbs. Everything is already organized to help you with every meal of the day. There are so many options. I'll leave the link to all these playlists down below in the description. I wanted to show you because I like everything to be very precise here, especially the nutritional information, right? So you can be confident that when you make it, everything will turn out right. It yielded a bit more. I estimate that it should make about 4 more here, so let's assume it makes 12 in total. After I finish these here, I'll make some more, but then I'll let you know at the end in the description how many it made, okay? It'll be there all detailed for you to check later. I'm almost about to grab our treats from the fridge. They're already pretty firm, but before that, I'm going to make our second layer. Here I have the skim milk. To our milk, I'm going to add 100% cocoa powder. Remember that cocoa is an excellent addition to our recipes because it has a lot of fiber, right? People always ask, where does all the fiber in this recipe come from? It's from the cocoa. When cocoa powder is natural, like this, 100%, it has a lot of fiber and it contains many antioxidants, polyphenols, which are excellent for reducing inflammation, for good mood, for well-being, and many bioactive compounds. Not to mention that chocolate flavor we all love. I'm going to add a little bit of stevia here. The only downside of cocoa is its solubility. As you can see here, I'm mixing it, and it still hasn't dissolved. So we just wait a little bit because it's different from chocolate drink mixes, but in terms of benefits, there's just no comparison, right? And you can't really say it's a big deal because look, while I'm talking to you, it's already dissolving. So it's really just a matter of adjusting your expectations regarding the time it takes. That cocoa that dissolves really quickly actually isn't real cocoa, is it? It's a chocolate drink or a chocolate flavored mix, and it's completely different in terms of nutrition and health benefits. I always prefer to use real cocoa, even if I have to stir it for a few extra minutes. To our cocoa, to make the topping, right? To make it firm, I'm going to add a little bit of the milk I set aside and once again, the gelatin. So once again, I'm going to melt the gelatin in the microwave, and after it's ready, I'll mix it into our cocoa mixture so we can combine everything together. So I already have the gelatin melted in the milk here. I'm going to mix it into our cocoa and give it a good stir to incorporate. Now I'm even going to switch to a spatula to make sure everything on the sides is well mixed and incorporated. And that's it. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab our delicious treat so that I can finally add the second layer. So I've got our treat from the fridge. And now we can begin to spread this second layer on top. Then I'll put it back in the fridge for a little while longer to set. And when it's ready, we'll give it a try. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm going to finish filling them up, right? I'll be right back with everything. If you can, please leave a like on the video. That's really important for me here on the channel. This shows that you support the channel, and it's good for you too, because YouTube will understand that you like recipes like this, and will send you more recipes. Now, if you know someone who would benefit from this kind of recipe, go ahead and share it. Let's grow our chain of kindness together. Look how beautiful that is. I've taken them out of the fridge and let me show you the consistency they have. Look at this. Make it at home. You're going to love it for sure. I'm dying to try it. I would even eat it straight with my hands, but I grabbed a fork to show you the consistency. Look at this. Look, make it at home. You're going to love it for sure. And don't forget to like the video. That really helps me out, and share it with anyone you think will like it. Let's expand our chain of kindness because that's what I want here on the channel. Let's try it. It turned out so good, especially the second layer. The chocolate is at the perfect point, really rich and sweet. The cream in the bottom layer is also absolutely incredible. Make it just like this and then let me know what you think. See you next time. Bye.